Because we're very few today. What is your favorite color? Starting with Marty, what's your favorite color?
Ocean blue.
Ocean blue. Not just any regular blue. Ocean blue. Your favorite color? If you had to say one.
Alright.
Favorite color?
Two actually. Blue and yellow.
Blue and yellow, Swedish. Alright.
Blue.
Blue for Andre. Roderick?
Sky blue.
Sky blue, not ocean blue. Damu?
Probably blue.
Blue, Neil?
Orange.
Orange. Oranje. My favorite color as well, by the way. Yours?
Red.
Red. Okay, yours?
Silver.
Silver, that's a nice one. Blue.
Lagoon blue.
Lagoon blue. What are the blues on
Good one there, man. Yes.
Judy, you don't need Altus here as far as I know. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Green, there we go. Alright.
Green.
What, the green or grass green or 5-month-old pool green? Alright, so obviously number one is going to be blue, yeah, because men don't really care about it. We just get told as boys we like blue. That's probably why blue is our favorite color. I've noticed that.
Your first clothes are blue.
Exactly, your first clothes. Even that first balloon you get was a blue balloon. It wasn't sky blue, though. It was ocean blue. Okay, so I asked you that because I want to talk about colors and see which are the most popular colors in the world. Because this week we read about a color, of course. We read about Esau. Esau was born what color?
Red.
What shade of red?
Ocean red.
No, ocean red.
Lobster red.
Lobster red. Let's see red, maybe. Red. So the reason why I want to talk about the color red is because they talk about the color red as a very interesting color. Probably one of the most interesting colors there is. Because red is always used for advertising, for example. It stands out more than any other color. When I was studying marketing at university, one of the subjects, I have no idea what subject it was. I can't remember half the stuff I studied at university. But anyway, the thing was brand management. We learned about the fact that the number one color amongst all brands is red. It's the top most used color, followed by blue, and then I think orange was in third, because orange also stands out. This was before there was outsurance. Green and purple wasn't there. But red is the number one color used because it stands out and catches your attention more than any other color in the spectrum. And there's a few reasons for this. Some of the studies have shown that when you see red, your heart starts beating faster, which is why we use red on Valentine's Day, to get people's heart pumping faster and to get them filled with passion. Right? And also, if you look at the color, obviously color is all relative to the light that we see with our eyes when we see a color, what reflects and what doesn't, right? And the wavelength for the color red is the longest out of all the wavelengths. Therefore, when you see red, it appears closer than it actually is. And maybe that's why we are so obsessed with going to Mars, because we don't know how far it is red, right? Exactly. Now, another thing that I started wondering because of this idea of colors this week is, what color do you think this coronavirus is?
Red.
Everywhere you look on the TV, on the internet, in the newspaper, they always make it a little red virus.
I've seen green ones.
You've seen one or two green ones. These people are being otherwise.
Yeah.
But the truth is, the virus doesn't have any color. That's just for marketing purposes. It's only so that the headline can scare you and say, we're in a pandemic, get ready, beware. It doesn't have any color at all, but they chose red because, it wakes everyone up. And as I was doing this, I was thinking, maybe my favorite color should change. What's it? What's it?
No, get ready.
Yeah.
Get ready.
See, today is a punny day.
Yeah.
Get ready. And you'll see now, when you guys leave, we have to sanitize all these chairs. And we use this steam fogger. But it's also got these little lights in the front that shoot out ultraviolet light. Because ultraviolet light is also supposed to kill viruses. And I thought to myself, maybe that should be our new favorite color. Even though ultraviolet isn't a color. But, looks purple to us, right? Violet. There we go. Okay. Now, Esau came out red. What is Esau known for? What was his biggest talent? Hunting. If red is a color that you can see from far away, that immediately strikes fear into your eyes, that you can spot out of anything else, is that a good color for hunting? It's the worst possible color to hunt with. Have you thought about that?
But if you're in the red desert.
If you're hunting in Pietra. But everywhere else in the field, in the open, in Israel, red is not the best color to be showing when you're trying to hunt. So how was it that he became such a proficient hunter? Our sages tell us in the Midrash that he had a special cloak that he used to wear. This outfit that he stole after he killed Nimrod, who was the other great hunter in the Torah. So he stole this outfit, and this outfit was almost like a magical outfit. The animals would actually run to him because they smelt it. And what was the smell of this outfit? Well, we read about it in this week's parashah. when Jacob steals the outfit and goes for the blessing, his father, his father Isaac says to him, it smells like a garden. And our sages say it means the Garden of Eden. This was the clothes that God made for Adam and Eve. So the animals would smell it and come close to Esau, and he would kill them easily. Which also explains why in this week's parashah, he takes so long to come back from hunting to get food for his father, because he didn't take the cloak with him. Remember, Jacob stole it and quickly used it. So Esau spent twice as long trying to get food for his poor father to try and steal the blessing. So the Torah tells us Esau came out born and he was red and hairy. That's why the word that's used there for red is the word Admoni. You can hear in there the name Edom, which is why later in the parashah where he gets the red soup, eventually it says he will be called Edom, and eventually his descendants, his people, are known as the Edomites. But our sages tell us, what should we learn from the fact that this child came out red? There's a reason for it. It tells us what his character traits will be like. In fact, when you name a child, you name the child hoping that the child will live up to a certain character trait. We named Judah after his name Judah because it means giving thanks. So hopefully he will be a thankful person one day. Right? All of us, our names mean something. This guy's name, Esau, was red because it meant something. What type of character trait would he one day have? If he was a red kind of person, our sages tell us, it means he would have become a murderous person. Someone wanting to spill blood. He believed in Red Dead Redemption. That's one of the character traits that he would have had. He would also be a hunter who's looking for blood. He would also be someone with a very short temper, because he gets red with anger very quick. You've seen these people that get angry and all of a sudden looks like they've got sunburn. Yesterday.
The Redux were very angry.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Good point. It also represents someone who is extremely passionate and doesn't have control over their passions. So what does this mean about Esau? Does this mean that because he was born red, he was destined to become evil? That's an interesting question. What if you're born red? What if your child comes out red?
Oh no.
Oh no. What do we do? Is that child destined to become evil?
He's praying blue.
He's praying blue. You're watching too much Smurfs. That's a real thing, by the way. You can come do that. Anyway, so next week's parashah, we read an interesting thing. We read about Jacob, who obviously ran away from his brother Esau this week. And he ends up with his uncle Laban, who was a very sneaky character, just like his mother, by the way. That's where she learned it from. She was his sister, right? And he ends up marrying two wives. So buy one, get one free deal. By accident. But we're told about Leah that she's got weak eyes because she was crying so much. Why was she crying? Our sages tell us, because she was meant to marry Esau. Esau was meant to be the husband of Leah. But instead, Esau sold his birthright to Jacob in this week's parashah, and Jacob now ends up with both wives, Leah and Rachel. And all 12 tribes come through one man, where it should have actually come through two men. Esau should have been the father of Leah's children. And that means that his children would also have carried this trait. And in fact, the Midrash points out that if you have a look at the children that came through Leah, they in fact did carry the same traits as Esau, who should have been their spiritual father. So who was the firstborn of all the tribes? Reuben. And what happened to Reuben? Well, right at the end of Genesis, where we find the blessings for the 12 tribes, where Jacob's on his deathbed and is giving each of them a blessing. Does Reuben get the firstborn right? No. He doesn't, just like Esau was supposed to be his father. Why? Because Reuben ended up defiling the bed of his father because he slept with his father's concubine. Like Esau, he also had this problem with the trait of not being able to control his passion. That red fire. Okay, who's next? Number 2 on the family line. Simon, and then third was Levi. What happened to Simon and Levi? Did they inherit the firstborn right? No. Why? Because they went and killed all the Shechemites. The day after they were circumcised, trying to recover, they saw the weak spot and they went and spilled blood through the entire city of Shechem. Just like their spiritual ancestor, so to speak, Esau was also one who spilled blood. So, and then, who's the fourth child? Judah was the fourth child. How about Judah? What do you know about him? Did he also inherit the same traits as Esau? No. He did. He did. He's also into mistakes. He couldn't control his passion and he ended up sleeping with a prostitute who ended up being his daughter-in-law Tamar. And she also bore twins, remember, through that union. But the reason why Judah gets to keep the firstborn right is because Judah represents the first place in the Torah where we witness repentance. He's the first person in the Torah who performs repentance with the story of Joseph. He repents to Joseph saying what he did, etc., etc. So it's interesting that the children of Leah who were meant to come to Esau still had that trait. But through Judah we can see that trait can be turned around through repentance. If you look at the other side of the family, Rachel only had 2 children. Who were her 2 children? It was big Joseph, who was the apple of their father's eye, and when his father would send out the other brothers to go hunt, he would say, Joseph, you stay behind. You're young, you know how to fix our TV when it doesn't catch the signal. Right? And then obviously the last born, Benjamin, little baby Benjamin. What did they do? They stayed in the tent, just like their father Jacob. So their traits carried on through them as well. So now what? What does it mean that if say now you're a descendant of Esau, and you have this tendency that he has as well, you have this desire to spill blood if you can't control your passion, what does that mean for you? The Talmud says that you should actually work on channeling that tendency that you're born with. Because some people are born with the tendency to want to spill blood. How do you channel this tendency? It leaves is trying to quell the tendency. How do you channel the tendency? What's a righteous way to spill blood? Become a surgeon. Wonderful. Doctor. You heard about the lady that says, let me introduce you to my children. This one's the surgeon, this one's the lawyer, this one's the... Exactly. Or you become a shochet. A butcher, kosher butcher, a shochet. Or you become, listen to this one, the Talmud says, a mohel. What is a mohel? Circumcision doctor. Yeah, spilling blood for a righteous reason. There's many different things you can do. You can work for the SANBS and draw blood. There's many ways the Talmud tells us that you can do it. In fact, we see it with one of the descendants of Esau, Levi. His descendants eventually become the priests in the temple. They work with blood every day of their life. Okay, so you can channel the tendency even if you're born with a tendency like this. Here's another question for you guys. 10 points if you get it right. Who else in the Bible is red? Came out red. King David. Now in the English Bibles it translates differently. It says he had a ruddy appearance. Right? Like we said, get ready. He had a ruddy appearance. But it uses the exact same Hebrew word, admoni, as Esau. And David is a descendant from which one of the 12 brothers? Judah. So he also has that Esau-like tendency. And what do we know about David and spilling blood? Did he do it? A whole lot. In fact, he couldn't build the temple in the end because his hands were so covered in blood. But David was still able to lay the foundations for the building of the temple. The Midrash tells us about the day that Samuel encountered David. It says Samuel came up to the sons of Jesse to find the one he has to anoint as king, and he saw David, and he saw that he was red. And the Midrash interrupts it.
And then the red flags went up.
Exactly. The red alarms were flaring. And Samuel started sinking in his spirit, thinking, oh no, I have to make an Esau descendant king? Why, Hashem? And Hashem said, wait, Samuel, there's something special about him. And the verse goes on, and David had fair eyes. What does it mean to say he has fair eyes? Our sages say it means that David was able to channel that desire to spill blood properly. And therefore, he had fair eyes, he had good judgment. In fact, the Midrash goes on to say that eyes is actually a symbolic word for the Sanhedrin. Every time David went to go wage war against a nation, he first asked the Sanhedrin for the okay. So that it wasn't murder, but it was a kosher war. So, Esau, we learn, Esau's desire to spill blood went uncontrolled, and it cost him, because he eventually, as it tells us in the prophets in Micah, he became an enemy of God. Whereas David, who also had the same desire, controlled this desire and ended up not becoming an enemy of God, but ended up defeating all the enemies of God. Like the Talmud says, become a mohel, become a circumciser. David got, in one war, he went and got 1,000 Philistine foreskins. Yeah? So what about us? Where does that leave us? Well, think about this, that it comes through the line of David, through the line of Judah, through the line of Esau, but even the Messiah comes through that line of David. So the Messiah himself will also have something in him like this, about spilling blood. And for more about that, you guys will watch my video, YouTube work that I sent out this week. I talk about the Messiah is this guy in the red. We also have the same issues. How many of you are born perfect without an evil inclination in you? That's a lie. Proof that you also have an evil inclination. What happens if one of us gets the desire to do stuff like this? How many of us, we can't control our desire to have an extra beer on the weekend when you've already had one too many. You can't control your desire to spill blood when it comes to what you want to choose. You have to braai every night of the week. No veggies for you.
Kill all the spiders.
Kill all the spiders. There you go, exactly. But it's still we used to do that, right? We used to burn the ants with a magnifying glass. Does that mean we're also destined to become evil like Esau? No, it doesn't. Yes, we all also have a Yetzer Hara, an evil inclination in us. We all have a little bit of red in us. In fact, it's pulsing through our veins. But that doesn't mean that we're doomed to become like Esau. If we can master it and channel it like David did, then we too will be able to defeat the enemies of God. Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Amen.
All right.